And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire in our self-imposed challenge run. People, what people? Well, we're basically playing on a max-sized world with the min-sized population and the min-sized resources. And to some degree, succeeding, to some degree struggling. The local wildlife is being a bit of an issue over here. We've got thousands of pangolins and thousands of space cows, xeno cows, some man-eating lizards. Vertebrate analogy. Okay, technically these are not man-eating lizards, although they apparently happily chew up our men. Some nomads, that sort of stuff. There are sentient aliens on this planet. We've managed to befriend some of them, and have succeeded much worse with trying to befriend the local humans, where we're at war with one to ourselves. I think previously they used to be fifth. Right now they're actually third, the ones we're at war with. And yeah, we're winning. Barely winning. Mainly due to population. A little bit due to planet. We got the biggest chunk of the planet right now. But we're definitely in a situation where these guys are much more willing to draft than we are. I'm not sure if there's anyone there. If there's no one there, they'll probably pull back and that'll work in our favor. One thing we're going to do over the next couple turns, hopefully as more industry comes in, is try to swap our light infantry over from being pure light infantry to being machine guns. So we can add a little bit more defensive capacity, right? So these guys have 4897. Is the 97 the hard defense? Oh no, that's the hard. Yeah, so defensive-wise we got 97 and 155. The machine guns do defense better. They're not much better on the attack, but they do defense better, right? And you can see that in the soft, right? So it's 366 versus 155. And okay, they're maybe not as good against vehicles. Well, they're even better against vehicles than the infantry are, but they're not much better than the infantry are. One thing we do want to do at some point is probably get some armored units. At this point, our armored units probably need to be at least 50mm armored, which means we probably want medium tanks, and or we want to just accept that the light tanks are going to be slow. Of course, one place where we get armor from is the armored cars over here. If we deal with the local wildlife, then we can free up the armored vehicles from there. We do have infantry poking this border. We have 2 confirmed sort of contacts over here with them, but otherwise that border is quiet, which is good. Diplomacy-wise, we want to probably move back towards peace. Our attempt to do spycraft kind of didn't work. We could attempt to do that again with Cold Rebellion, I suppose. Although they're not likely to succeed unless I've got some math missing here. And I don't have political power to do a shadow spy this turn. So let's go ahead. As is the case most often with the beginning of a stream, we're actually starting at the end of a turn. So no constructions ongoing. Mining-wise, we're getting real close with the metal there. 944. I don't want to do the transition on the mine too early. And in fact, at this point, this is telling me, hey, we're going to get 438 out of here. It's not 438 to get out of there, so it is actually the turn. And this is why we check before we cycle the turns when we start stream up, because occasionally when I'm ending the stream, I miss things. So we're going to do a peripheral mining, so we can upgrade that mine. It's basically going to give us the 394. We're going to then have to peripheral mine the location, which will cost us 1 ease of mining. Give us a bunch of metal, but that'll be the last time we can expand that metal. And we are taking a difficulty of mining penalty of -70. I think it'll go up to -80 after we do the ease of mining, or the peripheral mining modifier. So yeah, so the prospecting, or the mining's fine there. Well, it's fine as it's going to be. Nothing new to discover, and victory point-wise, we are still in first. So let's cycle the turn. Let's see how the situation evolves. Mono A, Mono, our forces are probably just a little inferior to theirs, although they started to mix in anti-tank guys. The anti-tank guys, because we haven't deployed any armor, are actually probably dead weight in the enemy formations. So, for example, in this formation, our unit is probably about as good as theirs because they have an anti-tank unit in it. Otherwise, our unit would probably be inferior. Right, so in this case, once again, there's an anti-tank unit, so it's about the same. And to be fair, our generals are maybe not very good, so if they've got a good general somewhere nearby, they might be doing a lot better than our guys. We do have this really exposed left flank. Most of the pickets are incredibly thin at this point in the attempt to try to get more territory. So yeah, we want to deal with the bulk of wildlife as quickly as possible so we can free up those vehicles so that we can do some work. If we could hypothetically do an end run on that one city, that would significantly change things, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So let's cycle the turn and see how things evolve over this end turn. They built a road there, and it does look like they're pulling back. Okay, that'll allow us to spare some troops by shortening the line. Okay, we killed 7 infantry over the intern, although the 7 infantry are probably animals. We have 5 decisions on round 131. Yeah, design favoring on that. Peripheral mining, and there is. The metal mine is empty, so we're going to roll to improve it. The difficulty was 97. We hit 216. This resulted in a critical success. We found especially double layer peripheral area. So we got 146,000 and a bit more metal in that location, and the cost of 1 ease of mining, and that means that's the location we're no longer going to be able to expand. Although metal is metal, hopefully by the time we go through 100,000 metal, we'll have the unlimited source that's the high-tech metal. Now my trader is offering us munitions, we'll accept. Imperium caught one of our spies. Let's try to smooth things over. Difficulty 100 rolled to 209. Pleased with the information we provided and happily released our spy back to us. Okay. I probably want to accept enforcement here. Although democracy does suppress autocracy decently well. Yeah, let's do enforcement here.
Roger that.
Okay, those machine guns were delivered, and they definitely did pull back. Okay. So we got another unit of 3rd Infantry here. Okay, so that arguably actually frees up the 2nd. To be shipped out to a different location, which we will promptly probably do. Let's try to curl the enemy's flank if we can. Pushing leftward. And yeah, I may try to pull the 2nd out to push over to the western flank, if we can shorten the flank a bit here. Which it does look like we're able to do, and then we'll try mainly to upgrade our troops. So do we have the entire 3rd here, or are we missing? We're missing a member of the 3rd. 1 member of the 3rd is missing here. We probably want to bring it in rather than ship the rest of the 3rd out. Although I have no clue where the missing member of the third is. There's somewhere. My immediate guess. Oh, there's the missing member of the third. Can we strategically move you? Yes. Okay, we'll do there. We probably pull the second out a little more aggressively, but I think we're going to be fine with the positioning we have right now. That's a reasonable picket. Do you want to know more info about you? Let's send in the infantry and the armored vehicles here to deal with that problem.
See you on the other side.
All clear, sir.
Okay. That pocket has been removed from contention. Okay. Basically encircle the cows. Get rid of them next turn, that'll be good. And then it's the pangolins. And basically, if we free up enough, defeat enough of the animals around here, we can pull the armored vehicles out. And I suppose one way to deal with these guys potentially being a threat on the border is actually do an end run on the capital. Because it doesn't look like they necessarily have anything between us and the capital. In which case, the biggest problem I'm going to have is I just don't have enough to cover all the fronts. Don't have enough to be everywhere. Which, to be fair, is kind of the status quo in this game, so that's not surprising. You have enough to be everywhere, you're going to be advancing. Well, if you have enough to be everywhere, you probably have problems with logistics. Because then that means you got more stuff than your trucks can handle. So always you tend to find more problems. Okay, so that's the unit movement. So we're going to do some upgrades, and we might do some upgrades. Did we get lucky and get any bribery cards? No. Let's, we're not show diplomat. We do have a show to spy, there we go. We'll spy the Foreign Affairs Counselor. The Director of the Foreign Affairs. Director of the Foreign Affairs.
Understood.
And we will send him a spying. One call to rebellion, please.
Understood.
Hit a 290 versus 256, and it generated about 600 rebels. Yeah. Not worth the political power. We're not going to try that again. There's not enough people here to get the rebellion going. Yep, that's what I'm going to say. There's not enough people here to get the rebellion going. Nation. After I save up a little bit more, I'll probably try to replace some of our advisors. Okay. So, colonist-wise, got 2 different colonies. Do you want to prioritize a particular colony over the other? So you have more private jobs than you have people. So that wouldn't be a bad place. You have more private... Actually, no, you have more people than private jobs. So, probably don't want to put it there. Yeah, we'll probably put them here. As people, send them under colonists.
Copy that.
I'm actually surprised you're as low as you are on debt, or on funds. Probably don't have a public, don't have right now. Okay, so we've got 794 industry. How many machine guns can that buy me? Ideally, we want like 1 to 3,000, maybe 4,000. Let's start with 3,000. 3,000 machine guns. Yes, we can afford that. So we've done that swap out. We'll order the third, the fourth, and the third, the first, and the second to swap over to machine gun brigades. It may not complete that this turn. I would not be surprised if it did not complete that this turn. We're decently close to the rail line. The rail line would be how it would happen quickly. So now we have the first, the second, the third, and the fourth machine gun infantry brigades. We still have enough reserve that we could probably push out another brigade. I think we'll hold off for the moment. Can I raise a formation of recon here? And not completely break the bank. Yes. Form another recon to help out the 5th here in doing reconnaissance. Again, I think they're pretty loosely deployed along this line. Actually, probably more tightly deployed along this one. Could even go a little bit farther and probably recruit another one, but we'll hold off for a turn. Okay. And yeah, with that, we'll have actually freed up 4,000 infantry. Once that's complete, we'll free up 4,000 infantry. What I'll probably do is actually make a brigade of... a new MG brigade, because we'll have the infantry in the SHQ to make the brigade out of. That'll probably be the plan. To deploy down here. That may take a turn or two. In the meantime, how is the administrative strain going here? Down to 42%. That's probably good enough for me to want to do this. We want a rare metal mining facility so we can get some rare metals coming in. It's terrible. It's going to get worse real quickly. But it's rare metals. And that will open up some doors with the mid-game tech. Because we're not necessarily far off from polymer armor. Polymer armor requires rare earth metals. At some point, we'll set up the heavy industry. That's going to require rare earth metals. Not to build, but to operate. And a lot of equipment that we want in the mid-game is going to require just a little bit of rare earth metals. We don't need as much as metal, right? So we're not going to crank the level to the moon. Like we did here. Although we appreciate if the civilian sector did. Of course, the civilian sector in the capital is already showing signs that we're super saturated on employment situations. So let's cycle the turn. We'll see how the situation improves or worsens. We got the 3rd infantry in here. I'm actually suspecting these guys will probably upgrade. These guys probably won't finish upgrading. You might. Depends on how much you can project down the road versus the rail. Either way, we probably won't be in a great position with the replacements swapping in and out to chase them, because it's going to lower the readiness in the units. Okay, so they're scuttling around the front line. That's probably what we want them to do. There we go. Killed 600 infantry over the intern. via 4 decisions, winning us on round 132. Okay, there's our helicopters. That's what was tying up that council. You want us to hit 6 bureaucratic assets. I can afford that. I will accept. We're setting for around 138, so that's actually a pretty small window. It means I got 6 turns to build it. I'm not going to build the aircraft because I don't have the facility, I don't have the capacity to run the airfields to make light aircraft work. Light helicopters aren't going to be too bad, which is why we researched them. So we've done infantry, done MGs. Really isn't going to be an improvement with recon buggies until we get polymer armor. There isn't really going to be an upgrade with the light tanks until we get polymer armor. We haven't discovered heavy tank or the medium tanks. I'm going to do a development upon our trucks. Build upon the main truck. Default, it comes with the smallest engine. We're going to slap the biggest engine on here. That will allow us to do
Affirmative.
Artillery slumping, moving the artillery around a lot easier. Our spies have found info. Before I just hit a random button here, let's figure out who we actually want to do that. That's the person we're actually at war with. So would like to have a specific party come to power. We don't want the fist one in power. I accidentally powered them a bit. Whoops. I think we want the mind one in power instead of heart. To be fair, if we want the heart one in power, we have the heart one in power. It's just not helping us. Yeah, let's go for the mind one. Oh, what was the mind one again? Humanists. We want the humanists in power.
Order received.
Okay, so this is bound to happen. In fact, actually, to some degree, this is actually preferable. We had enough logistics to deliver the MGs. Not enough to actually ship the infantry back, right? We shipped 1 of 2 infantry back, but we've delivered the MGs. So you got one of your MGs, you didn't get the other one. You got one of your MGs. That's not what we want. We don't want the infantry in theory going home without the MGs arriving to replace them. Okay, that's not necessarily going to stop them from coming from that side because they're over here. But we took everything that was up the road, proverbially. Yeah. Securing more road. We do want to hook their road up with our road. Although, well, on this side at least. Then we push the tank down a little bit. Okay, pull those guys back and probably push them out west in a moment. And then we probably want to push the road down here. Can I get a hex? No. There's no point in pushing that one either. Okay. That'll buy us a little bit more distance down here, not much. Interesting that our reconnaissance vehicle is telling us the enemy is so weak. We don't necessarily have very much recon, so that's probably wrong from a report standpoint. But... actually, leave the militia out of it. Infantry armored cars go in.
All clear, sir.
Now their hex of hostiles dealt with. over to that one. I think we'll be good to go. Needed to say we're building a lot of MGs, so the machine gun bullets are out and about. Yeah, that doesn't super surprise me. Can I raise... Let's start the raising of that with OHQ, MG infantry. Use SHQ troops. Don't actually produce... Here we go. Then we can click... there we go. Gotta have to check those buttons. Okay. Yeah, we'll use what we've got in there. Actually, I'm gonna uncheck the foot here. Because the missing foot, some of the missing foot is coming back from the front lines. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll raise that formation. We'll go to replenish troops. We should still be short on MG by 800. But I lack the industry to build. Okay, so we're gonna have some shortage in the front line. The infantry comes home. Whoops. Just a little whoops. And you could probably deal with some more colonists.
Copy that.
You hear that basically describes the entire nation, so that's not a surprise. We'll have to shuffle a little bit to the left here to secure that mountain front, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay. Work on that mine, and there was no delay. Although, there'll probably be a delay this turn because I used double the metal. Zone-wise, let's improvise IP.
Roger that.
Okay, that should solve the industrial power issue next turn. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking I might need to put more political power towards the Foreign Affairs Council so we can get some more bribery cards. We're going to call you up. We're going to call up the slave trader. We've got a decent cash on hand at the moment, so we're going to start buying some population. Okay. Let's see how things advance. Obviously, we're out of industry for the turn. But yeah, I think the 3 brigades can hold that front. And if that's the case, we can pull one of the brigades off to the west. Oh, trying to go around us. I don't have enough maneuverability to completely do that, but... Redshire, round 133, we have 6 decisions. Okay, we'll probably use the improvised IP again. They want us to get more recon. I'm on board for that. That's easy enough for me to send the spy council on to do.
Roger that.
Okie dokie.
Grab siege infantry army.
We'll go.
If I get motorized siege infantry army, I'd be very happy. The humans again. You are a competent military commander, so feel free to take over for the 6th MG. Well, take command of the 6th MG Infantry Brigade.
Copy that.
Replenishment-wise, we are 600 machine guns short. Why do I have a surplus 1,000 infantry? Because I have a surplus 1,000 infantry. Okay. That'll be fine. I can work with that. Yeah, we can work with that. More must have come back than I was expecting. Let's see, we don't want you to encircle us. And let's check that construction report. Did I delay it? Yeah, I expected to delay it with the fact we used all the industry last turn. Okay, so we've got surplus people there. Not many, but we're not necessarily expecting to expand the zone. And we've got surplus people there. Tempting to put in the capital, but we're not actually that short in the capital. We're close enough in the capital that a couple trips to the slave trader will fix the capital. Yeah. So probably actually want to still do it here. Would be good if we get this place up to level 3, because this is where we're going to get the rare earth metals for a while. We could go get water here if we were desperate for water. Yeah. Okay, so colonists here. As people.
Order received.
Okay, so that's, other than the slight hole in the mountain here, that's much better positioning. We do a little more shimmying to the left next turn. I'm going to threaten this unit a little bit by moving the vehicle here. The fact that this guy here probably means they're not going to be particularly threatened there. If there was no one there, that would be a little more threatening than that one, I think. Okay, don't like that we have a enemy there, although there's a online there, so let's not panic too early.
All clear, sir.
There we go. I cleared the pocket. Freeze these guys up for picket duty south. We took a couple casualties there, but that's perfectly reasonable. Deal with you, and then we can pull those vehicles off. Go elsewhere. I'm a little worried about you. It's making me debate the decision to actually pull the second. I'm going to hold off pulling the second, and we're going to push the newly formed 6 in instead. Yeah, let's push the 6 in the left side of the flank here. Push the 5th rightward as the 6 comes in. Obviously, rolling down the rail is not going to be an issue. It's going to be how quickly can we push them all the way down to the front. And that's basically the limit there. Okay. Once again, we probably don't have any... Do have a gift card. Let's play the gift card.
received.
Success. Raises them to 4. If we can get them to 25 again, we can negotiate a ceasefire, basically. So that's what we're going to try to do, is we're trying to negotiate back to ceasefire. Another reason I don't really have the industry to do a mechanized offensive against them. And our infantry are probably just fighting on par, right? We've upgraded the machine guns, and that's probably enough to only bring us up to par defensively. We currently happen to have a cohesive front line here, which is why they're not attacking. The combination being on par and the cohesive front line. They may attack over here. Although, this looks like the militia forces, so they do have some militia over here instead of proper troops. Looks like the rare earth metal will probably be the first thing that runs out, or at least the first thing that runs out that we can fix. When the oil is empty, the oil will be empty in those mines. Because it's accessibility 1 on those two. Got a little bit more on that metal mine, although that's a civilian-run metal mine. That oil is out. Granted, that oil is going to be here for quite a while, but that's how it's out. And the biggest deposits are actually the ones we've peripheral mined. Which is why we'll have water forever at this rate. Which is good. So in the improvised IP, so we have adequate industry.
Roger that.
And then if the manpower holds, I might call up another brigade. Yeah, so if the manpower holds, we'll probably call up another brigade. And then I'll probably try to deploy some armored vehicles over here, some of the armored cars. The armored cars are really good at punching down at units like this. In fact, actually, if I had better recon and knew that there was only trucks there, I'd attack it. It probably got some infantry in it, and they did it with bad recon. Well, bad recon and bad action points, right? We've already moved this guy quite a bit. It's down to 38 action points, so he's not going to be able to do much firepower, even if he was going against something that doesn't shoot back. Yeah, let's look at the turn. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to keep the second here to guard the guard our left. Guard the eastern front there. Killed 1,700 infantry, although I think it was mostly local wildlife. Over the intern, we have 2 decisions awaiting us on 134. I didn't even do any spy work to get those access. Okay, I was being mentally prepared to. Motorized MG Infantry Army. Yeah, I can see doing that. We're gonna pass on Call to Rebellion. That's not enough to really rebel. And if we are trying to work for peace, I think, you know, getting caught trying to argue for rebellion in their territory is not a good way to get the other side to agree to peace. Yeah, we're going to move another 5 towards foreign affairs at the cost of economy, so we can pull cards a little bit more frequently. Gift card, 400 more money at them.
Order received.
Another critical success, so another 4 opinion, 5 opinion. Even better. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to push the rest of the second that way. You've at least swapped out, that's fine. You've swapped out, okay. And you've swapped out. You're swapped out... You're just short the machine guns, okay. You know, it's the 100 machine guns that we need to be delivered. Good to know. Okay, so cohesive front line. Without bringing more troops in, we don't really have enough to stretch the line much more than that, without losing the cohesiveness of it. I suppose that would be one argument, maybe not to push the second east to guard that flank, but I need something to guard that flank. If for no other, nothing else except for a little bit more peace of mind. Sealed road, connect to their road. Sealed road, connect to their road. Okay, now that we know that that's basically our road, let's push a little bit closer onto it so we get some more reconnaissance info. Okay. That's all the forces we need. Pull up another brigade. Probably. Something else that I'm gonna do, let's upgrade you to the MGs as well. We'll raise, with OHQ, a brigade of MGs here. I had more in reserve than I thought I did, apparently. Okay. So there we go. So yeah, we got 4,000 reserve, which is actually pretty good. We're getting more in from some perks, which is nice. Rare earth metal mining facility is complete. That's good to see. Oh, I need to work on that bureaucratic asset before I forget. We probably want to improve the one in the capital. We have less than 6 turns, so it has to be the bureaucratic asset in the capital one. We got 4 rounds. So hopefully if there's no delays, it'll finish fine. Given that that's actually maybe going to be a high worker recruit, we're actually going to dump the colonist in the capital for the turn. Got the replenishment sorted. Okay, I think that is good to go there. Have we done that portion of the front? We have not done that portion of the front. Send in those armored cars.
All clear, sir.
And then we do have a threat to the road over here, so we should start pulling out to deal with that problem. We're close enough to it at this point. I don't think it's going to be a problem if it does cut the road. Can you get down there? Give me an idea. Yeah, so it's there.
clear, sir.
Interesting that was the direction it chose to retreat in. Okay, so I think everything else is going well. We got a new construction project going on. You're working. We'll see how good this is next turn. That'll allow us to evaluate whether or not we can upgrade it, or afford to upgrade it, right? Because it's going to cost us machine parts to upgrade it. One every turn. And it probably will make enough machine parts to pay for, or enough rare earth metals to pay for the machine part to upgrade it. Also, that'll give us an idea of how quickly it's going to run out. And I have to turn around and upgrade the deposit. Yeah. And then card-wise... Not seeing anything I need to play right now. Oh, I should raise more military commander. Raise another military commander. I'll grab a civilian. We need one for the new unit. The military commander is probably going to be better than the civilian. We'll see how skilled the civilian is as well. Okay, let's cycle that turn. Yeah, I'm getting a distinct impression that they're having a struggle trying to form a cohesive front line. Except for no losses nor mid kills, we have 5 decisions awaiting us. Breakthrough now. Okay. Initiative camera back, yes. New demand. You want the BP to increase. We'll accept. There's a decent possibility the bureaucratic asset improving will do that. That looks fine. Given to some of the demands. New commander for the 7th MG Infantry Brigade. So, you're probably the military guy. And you're the civilian. Okay. The civilian apparently has a little bit of understanding of being infantry tactics. I'm going to assign you to the command, and I will probably go ahead and find out if we can get that civilian fired. Bronze retirement. Reserve pool. You. Get out of my reserve pool.
All clear, sir. All clear, sir.
So yeah, we've definitely got too much stuff here to cover with too few men. But that's this game in a nutshell most of the time. Unless everything's going your way, and then you somehow find out you have enough men to cover everything you need to. Oh, we've inherited you. Mothball. Mothball and delegate to Nota Town. Oh, we have a worker shortage here. Okay, do we get a delay on the construction? Very slight delay, so we may not actually get you to finish on time. Because I delayed a turn. Whoops. Okay, and otherwise the front here is holding.
Enemy spotted.
Thought something was wrong with our reconnaissance report there.
Right.
Why is the hex not ours? It's because there's an enemy in the hex. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. Okay, so we're slowly pushing forward, which is a little tedious because we definitely don't have the don't really have any more troops to cover more frontage, but that's what we're doing. They're none of the reconnaissance. If we had the reconnaissance, I'd be a little bit more prone to being a little aggressive there. And we may get the reconnaissance once the rest of the brigade arrives.
We're under fire. Requesting backup.
Local wildlife being so stealthy. Okay, we required a road there. Quite enough to be able to encircle him. We'll probably have them circle next turn. That one's going reasonably well. Let's go ahead and start to bring in the 7th Brigade. Missing reinforcements. There we've got too many reinforcements, actually, which somewhat surprises me. I probably have too many because there's probably militia forces waiting to be sent out to militia units somewhere. It's my immediate guess. Nope. That's actually professional troops waiting for assignment. Okay. We're not making much metal, which is a bit of a shame, because there's not much I can do to increase that metal consumption or metal production rate. Although assigning more workers actually work the mine is probably the solution. Oh, you only make 19 rare earth metals a turn. At least we know the deposit's gonna hold out for a while. While we're thinking about it, we're gonna workshop up 2 machines. That's enough to, in theory, upgrade that mine, although we'll hold off a turn. Food's going down. Petrol's going down. Although the food's probably going down because we're probably not having enough workers work them. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. That's probably not the case with the petrol. The petrol is just we're getting more and more vehicles. Yeah. Oh, before I forget, let's call up Slave Trader. Give me more pop, please. So in theory, the capital has enough people to work all the civilian jobs. That might help a little bit with the oil income. Oh, interesting. Independent AT Regiment. We don't have good reconnaissance here, but it's an AT Regiment. What's it going to do against the infantry? And the answer is kill some, apparently.
All clear, sir.
There we go. We didn't have a couple good rounds there, but we inflicted a decent number of losses, so 7 subunits to 2 subunits. 2? Oh, we lost the sniper. Okay. So yeah, definitely that was an effective exchange. The enemy basically withdrew in front of that. We know that one of these is going to be an AT unit, which we can probably just attack again next turn. Okay, let's cycle the turn. We'll see what motley band of crew they've got out here in the west. They're a little bit less motley here in the center, although it's mostly line infantry. So again, if I could free up those armored cars, we'd be having a field day. Although they do have bazookas in here, so maybe I should not just assume that we're going to have a field day because, well, that's not a bazooka. No, they've got some bazookas in here. Just can't find them here with the reconnaissance we see. The regular shoots and we can probably deal with just sending in the armored cars. But yeah, we're going to push them more and more in the west here. We're going to see if they can form a cohesive line here. They've got a cohesive-ish one, that's why we're not just running off into the sunset, right? They've got something going on here, although it looks like only 3 units, which is something a brigade-sized unit will be able to deal with. Yeah. Construction, I don't think we had any other delay. Well, except for that, yeah, we had the delay. We had the delay. Hopefully it won't be delayed again. Mining overview. At the current rate of consumption, we actually got like 20-something turns there before that runs out, so we're not in a super rush there. Although we'll want to upgrade the mine at some point. Victory overview. We have the most people. Still. Good. We're getting more land. Good. Because otherwise number 2 would be catching up with us, overtaking us. We're applying pressure to number 3. And we got 3 rounds. The estimate take 2.1, so depending on where it evaluates, we might be done with it. I think we'll be done with that one in time. And that one is sort of up to the private society, or the private queue. It's quite plausible that they can do it, and it's quite plausible they might not do it. Depends upon the roll of the dice. Let's do a security outpost on the little one.
Copy that.
Theory that will help. Theory that will help. Oh, and let's play that breakthrough now. Ice mining economization. Didn't need that. Did not need that at all. At least now they won't be spending their effort discovering ice mining economization. I suppose that's not actually the worst thing in the world. That just means we'd mine the ice faster, which is not our rush. Working hydroponics. What do I have the... Oh, I have the military working on automated turret, don't I? And discovery. Because I'm trying to think about how I'm going to get into advanced chemistry faster. Hydroponics is done. We're obviously going to deep core while we're waiting for advanced chemistry to discover. Or geotectonics, whichever comes up first. Due to tanks, we prioritize if it gets discovered in time. We're going to need a new RPG. In fact, that's probably worth taking the automated turrets off. Org, military,
Roger that.
research, RPG.
Roger that.
Eco's chugging along, although not particularly fast. We're like 2.5 turns on hydroponics, which is a tech that at this point we're pretty much not going to use, because it's too water demanding. Model, we're hoping that, well, we're gonna finish this truck design, and then we're just hoping it's gonna discover medium armor. Because in type wise, not too worried about anti-tank guns. It could discover anti-tank guns. Those are we'll want eventually. We're really interested in the medium tanks if we can get them. Okay, let's go ahead and cycle the turn. This will probably be the last end turn of this part if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to sip a little bit of tea, take a quick stretch break, and then get back to recording. So it's going to be a short break between the two parts, as is usual. On the lookout to see how the enemy responds. Again, they don't have a tight front line. The question is, do they go west? Do they go east? Do they pull back? Do they do all of the above? They could potentially do. I think they do outnumber us, but they've got other things to deal with than just us. Okay, we'll be resuming next time on round 136, responding to the 200 infantry we killed and the 6 decisions we have. So until next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next one, and bye for now.